What is going on, everybody? We are back at your boy Simo, and today got another very special video. If you haven't seen, I'll link it here. 5 Pokemon that should be in Pokemon Unite. Had a few wild suggestions, I'll say, in there. Went through in depth, choosing a moveset, abilities, Unite move, all of that jazz, all in that video, so check that out. This is a part 2 to that, so we've got 5 more Pokemon that I think should be in Pokemon Unite. So let's go down and break down each one that I've chosen and why they should be here and what they can bring to the table. For these lists that I make for the 5 Pokemon, I think it's good to keep it well balanced, and because the game at the minute is well balanced, I want to keep it that way, so I've kind of chosen one for each role, and I've chosen Pokemon this time more based on typings that have less representation in Pokemon Unite compared to other ones. So things like water types have already got 4 Pokemon, whereas ghost types only have 1. So that kind of explains the list a little bit more. But we're starting off with the Speedster I've chosen, and that is Noivern. Very fast Pokemon, obviously. Speed stat is its highest stat, so that makes the most sense. Attack is okay, special attack is decent. It would evolve from Noibat at level 5, so it's not too late. Mostly speedsters are in the jungle, so it makes sense to be at level 5 because then it evolves not at 4, because 4 is too early for a jungle, I think, because you don't evolve unless you get all of the jungle camps. Kind of makes more sense. Noibat's kind of weak, evolves into Noibat at level 5 nice and early, get a really good gank, and that is the idea behind having a good speedster evolve early, because we haven't got any second evolution stage speedsters yet, so I feel like that could be a good addition. The ability, I try to keep the abilities the same from the Pokemon games themselves, so I've actually chosen Infiltrator. It's a tough pick because Frisk wouldn't really be that beneficial because you can kind of tell what everyone has anyway, but Infiltrator, I don't want to make it too good, but I also want to make it actually do something, so I've made it so that it would, basic attacks would bypass shields. So not its special ability, so not its special moves, which I'll go through in a minute, but it's just its basic attack would bypass through shields. So it would just damage their health bar rather than their shield stats. It doesn't get rid of their shields, they keep it, so from other stuff it still affects it, but just basic attacks bypass shields. Because in the Pokemon games, Infiltrator goes through substitutes or light screens and stuff like that, any kind of wall or barrier. Can't really do that in a MOBA, so it's kind of just the barrier or the wall per se is that Pokemon's shield itself. So going through it with just basic attacks keeps it enough so it's not crazy strong. If it was all moves going through, like if it had a special move going through their shields, that would be broken, but still enough to actually make an impact, because if it didn't do that, what else could it really do is kind of the thought behind it. Noibat's first moveset would start off at level 1 and 3 as most Pokemon, and it would be Wing Attack and Supersonic. Supersonic is kind of a staple because it's a sound wave Pokemon, so it confuses them, could make them turn back like Cute Charm or something, or come towards them. I haven't really decided what it could do, because Confuse isn't really a status condition yet, but it definitely could be worked into the system. And then Wing Attack is just a decent flying type attack that it is, because it's obviously Dragon Flying. And then just for clearing camps, big like damage for ganking early, I guess, and actually having something to give out a damage output as well as Supersonic to help with it. If you Supersonic them and they come towards you, get a free Wing Attack. Could be a dash, could be like an uppercut, could be an area of effect, like Aerial Ace or something, but there's definitely areas to improve on that. At level 5, when it evolves, I'm going to make its first move change from Wing Attack, so it will keep Supersonic, sorry, at level 5 until level 7. But at level 5, when it first evolves, it will either learn Acrobatics or U-Turn. I know U-Turn isn't really a crazy move. You don't see a U-Turn on it. As soon as you think of Noivern, you don't think U-Turn. But if you ever played any competitive Pokemon, U-Turn is a staple for pretty much all fast Pokemon that kind of just get in, do quick damage, and get out. Literally what the speedsters are in this MOBA game. So things like Greninja, or Cinderace, or Talonflame, even Gengar. People that are really quick, want to get in, get out. Bit frail, but do lots of damage quickly. They want to get U-Turn. They want to get in and get out. So it could be a dash. It could be like Volt Switch. That's why I'm thinking of it. It could be like Volt Switch for Zeraora. You dash in, the dash does damage, or you dash in, then do damage, and then you can dash out. That's pretty much what U-Turn does in the game. So you run in, hit them, and then escape. And that is the same theory behind this. And on the other end, it could be Acrobatics, but not like Talonflame lines. It could be a dash with an attack at the end. Haven't really thought through what they could do. It could be a dive or something. Could be a pickup, could be a scoop, like an uppercut. Could be multiple things, but I feel like having as a dash with then an attack like Acrobatics, everyone's seen the game, everyone knows what Acrobatics does. If it like dashes and then does the acrobatic stuff, that could be, I guess, the ideal way that it could work as a good ganking move as well, because he is a speedster. That's the plan behind it. It's supposed to get in there and get out, do big damage, get those ganks early in the bottom and top lane. So that is the idea behind that moveset. At level 7, so this is like the big move that you learn. So for Venusaur, it's Solar Beam. For Noivern, I've got Hurricane and Draco Meteor. So originally I couldn't decide what moves I wanted to have for this big one, because there's another move that's pretty much the signature move for Noivern, and if you can't tell by now, you know that that's going to be the Unite move. So Hurricane, obviously he's a flying type, and a dragon type, so they're the two big damaging moves for those two typings. So Hurricane obviously is good, could also have the confusion effect, so that could be part of Noivern's kind of kit is the confusion, because obviously he's a sound Pokemon, it makes a lot of sense to disorientate opponents. And then Draco Meteor, obviously the strongest dragon type move, just does big damage. Could be an AoE, could be this area that you drop like Water Spout or something, but obviously a lot faster, more at once. Could be like Talonflame's Brave Bird or something, where you just drop a bunch of meteors, does big damage, bigger cooldown maybe, but kind of like a special attacking move that you can hit from range. You don't have to be up close and personal, but does a lot from afar, big area of effect. Hurricane could be very similar to Cramorant's, how it is the knock-up, but then instead of maybe knocking up as much, it could just be another area of effect attack. So it's very similar to Draco Meteor, except obviously it's not dropping on them and maybe a stun or something. It's kind of like they're stuck in it, could maybe slow and confuse. So it's more damage over time rather than all at once burst damage. So could go a few couple routes, could go the Cramorant style route where it's a knock up with some stun, could go the slow damage over time with confuse or whatever, but definitely a lot of options it could go with each moveset. And finally, I think if you haven't figured it out already, but Noivern's move would be Boom Burst. Obviously, that's a sick move. It's one of the strongest normal type move in all of Pokemon, base 140 special attack. So, haven't really decided if I want Noivern to be special attacker or a physical attack yet. I'm guessing special attacker based off the games and whatnot and the move pool that I've given him, but I think it's the first jungler other than Gengar that's a special attacker, so it could work. Definitely could be mixed attacker. I think that could be the best option, but I do think that Boom Burst would be an amazing move. Could come in, could be like a cone, because that's where he is obviously ears are that shoot out all the sound waves. Could be a circle area of effect, could be a line, but I feel like it's better to be a cone because that's the whole point of the ears and the sound waves. So it could be could hit multiple people, obviously, big stun, like, incapacitates them for a short time because it's like, it's so loud, it's so strong. For a move that's just sound, to do that much damage, it has to be powerful. So obviously that's the whole point behind it. Shaped like a cone, goes forward in an area, stuns everybody, and it does big damage. That's pretty much all it needs to be. It's a good Unite move, could help out a speedster a lot, stunning a lot of people in a team fight, doing big damage, get in, get out. Could be a knockback, so he could like Boom Burst and then it pushes him back, so it could be an escape option as well. But I don't think that's needed, but definitely could still work. Those are my ideas for Noivern, so please also in the comments, I'm going to say this for every character that I go through, please let me know what you think of Noivern's build or moveset, what you would maybe change for a certain move or an ability, if you got any ideas. I'd love to hear people's abilities for an Infiltrator, because it took a while to try and figure out how it could work without being broken, but if you have any got ideas, please let me know down below. The defender I have chosen has the highest defense and highest special defense stats in all of Pokemon. Its HP, attack, special attack, and speed are utter garbage though, but its defense stats are the highest by a landslide. So I've gone and chosen Shuckle. I know a lot of people probably aren't a huge fan of Shuckle, or a lot of people probably don't even know Shuckle, but Shuckle is a bug rock Pokemon from Gen 2, and he's pretty much just a support Pokemon, but because his stats are so high in the defensive area, he's a defense Pokemon. So the idea behind it is that he's not a big damage dealer like Blastoise is at the minute with big attack but still tanky. He'd be more of a Blissey type Pokemon that helps out, still does damage and does certain things, but tanks all these hits. I would make his ability his passive Counter-Area, so it's, once you see his moveset, you understand why. So pretty much Counter-Area flips the effects that are done to you, like stat effects that are done to you. So slows don't slow you down, they speed you up. So because his speed stat is slow, he might move slower than normal compared to other Pokemon. But if he gets like slowed down or loses attack or attack drop or whatever it is, or defense lowering things, whatever that could be, it would oppose it and do the opposite. So with his move that I've chosen, one of them being Sticky Web, it slows down opposing Pokemon when they walk through it, but if he walks through it, it's actually a speed boost. So he could put it in front of him if he's running away, he gets a speed boost, and the people chasing him get slowed down behind him. So that is kind of how he can get out, because he doesn't have any mobility type moves, because it's a Shuckle, unless he had Gyro Ball, but I chose not to go with that. But I feel like Sticky Web could be good, because obviously it's a tank move, put it down a big area, like a big area of effect, so it's not just a small puddle like Water Spout or Stealth Rocks, it's massive, and only slows. It doesn't do damage or anything, it only slows them down, speeds up only Shuckle, not your teammates, but just slows down the enemies. Shuckle will learn Sticky Web at level 4 after learning, what have I got here? After Wrap at level 1 and 3, I have Wrap and Acid. Just pretty standard. Wrap slows them down, slows down the opponent if you get in close. Shuckle is obviously a physical attacker, which is kind of troublesome for him, but Wrap obviously could throw out a tentacle or something, wrap him up, slow him down. And then Acid is obviously a ranged special attack that could poison or lower their defenses shortly. Like I said, at level 4, he learns Sticky Web from the Wrap line because it's the slowdown. It keeps the theme with the Sticky Web. Opposing Sticky Web, he also learns Power Trick. So it's a bit of a long shot for Power Trick. So Power Trick switches your attacks and defenses. So I already told you before what his stats were. So that's a massive, massive attack stat. If you get base 230 attack and special attack, but close to 0 defenses, you are going to be doing damage. So obviously, the level 4 moveset that Shuckle gets, the status moveset, so like the slows or the switching of attack and defenses, so it's more helping out the team or yourself for Power Trick, obviously. But then at level 6, when he, well, it doesn't evolve, but when he gets to level 6, he learns his second moveset from Acid. He learns Infestation or Rock Slide. So as you can tell, I've kept the bug theme to go with Infestation and Sticky Web. It would be like think of a route, but like bugs going under the ground and reaching you, like a line, kind of like telekinesis works, but a little bit better. I guess it tracks in that point. If you can get them in the range and use it, it will track them, and then it will slow them down while doing damage over time. So it doesn't stun them, but it slows them down, damage over time. And if you put that with Sticky Web, they're pretty much immobile at that point. They're going to be so slow, it's going to be doing damage. You're the tank, you can take all these hits, you get in close, get Infestation and Sticky Web off, and then you let your ADC or your support carry run through and just do this big damage while they're pretty much stuck in place. On the other side from the bug move, we've got Rock Slide. So Rock Slide can pair well with Power Trick because he changes his defenses with his attack, so then Rock Slide will just do massive damage. Obviously, then you got to change your stats back, or Power Trick could be a cooldown. It could be switch your defenses for this amount of time, so then it could be 8 seconds or something. So then you switch your defenses, and then obviously the cooldown of the move would happen after you change your defenses back, so you can't just change it immediately again. So say you're 8 seconds of Power Trick, you've got crazy attack stats, you can use Rock Slide, sorry, and then maybe you can use it twice, could be twice, or just once, and then change back, and then the cooldown starts to Power Trick, then you can change it again. So the Rock Slide from the Power Trick would do insane damage, and Rock Slide obviously flinches, so you drop it on him, it'd be like a line, and then it'd fall, and then stun the opponents, that Pokemon. So with Power Trick, that'll do massive damage. If not, and you're just using it as a defender role, it's still really good because it gives stun, and you put that with Sticky Web, you're more likely to hit the Rock Slide, get the significant damage off, and still get the stun. Shuckle's Unite move, I kind of got inspiration from Deca from Paragon, if you've ever played that. There's probably others in MOBAs like League and things, but it's pretty much a giant cage. Big circular cage, so he'd use it and it'd be around him, so he'd have to be in the center. You can't place it somewhere. It has to be in the middle, and then around him would be a big rock ring that they would fall down like Rock Tomb. I haven't really decided on a name yet. Rock Tomb just doesn't seem like it's fitting enough, but it'd be just a big circle, your Rock Tomb. They all fall down, do damage to anyone caught under it. It'd be a big startup, so it'd be like, yeah, he activates it, then you'd see it and they'd fall, so you got a little bit of time to escape if you're underneath it, but anyone caught in the cage is stuck in there for however long the cage would stay up. But then anyone in it, you get a shield, and your teammates might get a shield or something as well. So obviously Buddy Barrier and things have those kind of effects as well. But pretty much locks in the cage. Anyone in there is stuck in there until the cage disappears. You can't flash out. You can't get in with moves or surf or something. So you're pretty much stuck in the cage. Once you're in there, you're stuck. And then obviously if Shuckle uses that with his teammates who are carries or whatnot, he puts them in the cage. They're stuck in there. You can attack them while they're in there. Pretty much helps out everyone. Lock them in, they can't escape, you can just run through them. Obviously, they can still fight back, so there's a big risk behind it, but if it pays off, it's a massive, massive reward. I know Shuckle wasn't probably a fan pick favorite from everybody, but on the opposite end of the spectrum, chosen one that a lot of people I know do like. Very unique. It took a lot of time to think about this one, but I've actually gone with Zoroark as the attacker. So it's very unique because of Zoroark's, I guess, lore behind him is the big illusion fox Pokemon. He always plays tricks on people. He always teleports to look like other Pokemon. He always is moving around, being sneaky, doing damage, slashing people. So that is the idea behind it. So once I go through it, you understand how that can work. But please let me know again in the comments down below what you think the illusion ability as a passive could be and what you think of my Unite move, because I think it's pretty unique. Zora would be probably a jungler or laner, I guess, because it is an attacker. It's not necessarily a space. It doesn't have to be in the jungle, but as we know, a lot of attackers do play the jungle role, especially if they're fast, like Zoroark. So he's a laner. He is Zora until level 5, and then he'd evolve into Zoroark. But until that point, at level 1 and 3, his moves will be Fury Swipes and Thief. Haven't really decided how Thief could work yet. Could maybe stun them and then do like a lockdown on their held item for 2 seconds or 3 seconds or something. Maybe not something broken, especially in lane, but something to just nullify their item for a short period of time, because that's the whole point behind Thief. You steal their item, they can't use it. Obviously, you can't take their item indefinitely, but locking it out for a short period of time could counteract and keep the Pokemon lore going. On the opposite end, we've got Fury Swipes, which would be between 2 and 5 hits, or 2 and 3, because it's only a base move, but it'd just be a bunch of scratches. Here is a Fox Pokemon, it makes a lot of sense. When he evolves at level 5, he will learn his signature move, Night Daze, or Snarl. Night Daze, obviously, in the Pokemon games is much better, because it does more damage, but Snarl still has this great effect. So Snarl actually lowers Pokemon's special attack, so that could apply here. You use Snarl, it's a roar in front of you, could be a cone, like I said again, it's a roar, and then it lowers the special attack of Pokemon attacking you. So their special moves do less damage. It's pretty much all it needs to be. Just a little debuff, does damage still. It's still a good attacking move. Obviously, Zoroark's attacker, so it does damage still. It's still a good move, but then it just has a small debuff that lowers their special attack. Opposing that, Night Daze is very similar. Could be a ring, I feel, would be better suited for Night Daze. It'd be like a, think of like Dark Pulse, how it sends outwards. It'd be like that, and then it lowers their accuracy. So it could be guaranteed their next 2 hits, basic attacks miss, or they've got a accuracy debuff for a certain amount of time where moves may miss. Obviously, Leaf Tornado has that on Eldegoss, but I think it could be a little bit better because it makes it more rewarding than over just going Snarl always for the special attack debuff. At level 7, he removes Thief and then learns Foul Play, which makes a lot of sense. It's a big move that's always used in Zoroark competitively, and it works. The higher attack the Pokemon have, the more attack he does. So it works better on carries and tanks, so it could be a counter carry. Even though he's the attacker, it could be a counter carry. Whereas if you're using it on someone like Shuckle, or maybe a Crustle, or a Ninetales whose attack is lower, it's going to do less damage. It will scale better on different types of Pokemon. The other option is, instead of Foul Play, could be Night Slash. Night Slash is obviously a very standard Dark type move. Obviously, Zoroark is solely Dark type, so it makes a lot of sense. Big crit chance, decent damage, could just be a dash. Obviously, he's an attacker. He wants a little bit of mobility because he is a speedster. So Foul Play and Night Slash would both be dash type like moves, whereas Snarl and Night Daze are like attacking moves from afar. Zoroark, like Noivern, would be a mixed special and physical attacker. Obviously, he has both type moves, Foul Play and Night Slash being physical, Night Daze and Snarl being special. But so his stats would be very similar to Noivern's, both physical and special attackers, so it's not really set for either. But finally, his Unite move is very unique. I was trying to work in the illusion theme behind Zoroark, because that's his whole shtick. His whole shtick is being illusion. When he sends into battle, he's supposed to look like the person in the back of the party. So pretty much, he makes 3 identical copies of himself. Not like Double Team, that's a lot easier to say what's what, but 3 identical copies, and they run out in 4. So you can choose which way you're running or whatever, or it could just be they stop and then they spread. Haven't really decided how they activate, but you send out 3 copies of yourself, so there's 4 in total. Each copy can take a total of 3 hits, basic or special, it doesn't matter, it has to be hit 3 times to disappear. In that time where the clones are active, you have a shorter special move cooldown. So think like Hex or Shadow Ball for Gengar when it's reduced, Surf when you can execute extreme speed like that. His moves activate like that. So when you hit someone, the cooldown is reset like extreme speed. For a duration of time for the Unite move is active, or for, it could be once the clones are gone, or it could be, I haven't decided on the time length that this happens, but because it's not a damaging Unite move, it's more of a active one that happens, and you can do things during it, like Charizard's, the damage needs to come from somewhere. So it has to be from the cooldown of the Unite moves. So you could use Unite move, send out 3 copies yourself, you're here, around in a group of people, make it look oppressive, scary, be the illusion master that you are, and then Night Slash someone, Night Slash someone else, do a Night Daze to hit everyone, lower their accuracy, Snarl people so their special attacks do less to you and the clones. So that's the idea behind it. I wanted to keep the illusion theme there, but it was hard to make it into a Unite move that still did something that wasn't insanely broken, but wasn't abysmal and didn't help out at all. Because I think something like this can be beneficial as long as the clones are identical, not like Double Team, and they are convincing enough, and they only take 3 hits, so it's nothing crazy. They don't have a health bar or something, but then you can know which one's which, and you have the cooldown, so then it's not you have clones and then an attack, because that would be too much. So the cooldown of the moves is to counteract the clones without giving too much away. It was quite hard to think of a support character. I didn't want to have to choose another evolution. I would have loved to say Umbreon and bring in the evolutions, but because we already got confirmed Sylveons in here, they may be an attacker, or an all-round. I'm not really sure. Could be a support. I'm not 100% sure what Sylveon's going to be, but I didn't want to have to choose another evolution because of that. So I've actually gone with Mandabuzz, another dark type, which I didn't want to actually do, but I felt like Mandabuzz was a perfect pick because it's kind of bulky, same kind of role as Wigglytuff, could heal like Blissey with Roost, and will evolve from Vullaby at level 4. Pretty standard for a support at the minute. So Jigglypuff only evolves at 4 to Wigglytuff, Chansey evolves into Blissey at level 4, pretty standard for support roles. They want to get tanky, they want to get those heals nice and early. Between level 1 and 3, it would learn Gust and Tailwind. So as a support Pokemon, you don't want to have 2 damaging moves or no damaging moves. So Gust is pretty standard. It could be a little knock-up, could be like Whirlpool, I guess, for Cramorant. Could be a wind that you blow with your wings, could be a forward pressing move. There's plenty of options you can do with Gust. There's so many things you can do. But then the other end is Tailwind. So it'd be similar to, I guess, Leaf Tornado, but it wouldn't be in a line. It'd be a longer line. So it'd be like a big wingspan going forward, and then all the wind pushes you. So your team is faster in the Tailwind. So it's like very much like Leaf Tornado without the damage, but is a much, much bigger area of effect. At level 4, it will get the attack move, so keep Tailwind till level 6, but at level 4, Gust will turn into either Dark Pulse or Air Slash. Obviously, both very threatening moves early, especially at level 4, but Wigglytuff gets Sing, Chansey gets Soft Boy, like they get good moves early. So having the damaging move early with Tailwind can be really beneficial for getting those early kills in the lane, setting up a big presence early as a good support. The Dark Pulse would obviously be the pulse that you send outwards, could be forwards, don't really know, could be a beam, you never know what it could be. Has plenty of options for Dark Pulse. And then Air Slash would be the same thing, probably be a Scythe-like move that you shoot forward, and then both have the chance to flinch, or they both stun. Like Sing puts people to sleep, and Rollout stuns them. Both of them would probably stun. I think Dark Pulse would be too broken if it was a stun on everyone and it was a pulse outwards. Could be a short range maybe. And then with Air Slash, it'd be a forward Scythe that goes cutting through the air and then stuns them as well. So both stun moves as support is really handy. Wigglytuff's got plenty of it. Obviously, Cute Charm is also there as well. So having a double stun, or sorry, a single stun for either path of the moveset with then Tailwind could be really beneficial in the early game. I also forgot to mention the ability that I would have for Zoroark for one, and Mandabuzz. So quickly I'll go through Zoroark's. It would be Illusion, the first active ability. So it would have a cooldown, and then when you're with a teammate, you can actually transform into them. So you have all your moves still, you don't get their moves, you just visibly look like them. It's part of the illusion. And then it will disappear when you get hit by an opposing Pokemon, not NPC. So not jungle farms or bees or anything. You have to be hit by a player, and then the illusion will wear off. But until that point, you are indeed, you look exactly the same as that person. So you can transform into one of your teammates. Two of them there, I don't know which one's the real one. They gotta be scared because you can dash in, so they gotta be worried about your dash. Or you go somewhere else and they're floating, they don't want to mess with you because you're Blastoise early when you're actually only a Zeraora who's underleveled or something. So it could work that way. It is the first active passive, I guess. So its first active ability makes it hard. But I wanted to have something that does follow the illusion path that is Zoroark. Back to Mandabuzz, sorry about that. It would be Overcoat, so it'd actually be immune to all elemental effects. So not things like Sing, because that's not elemental, but things like electricity, ice, fire, and water would be immune to those effects. So things that slow down pretty much things that slow down. So any elemental effect that slows you, so electricity paralyzes or snow freezes, those type of moves that affect you, you're immune to the slowing of them because Big Pex only stops your defense being lowered. Weak Armor wouldn't be viable for a support. So I feel like that's the best option. I didn't want to make it too crazy and say immune to everything, but I can't have it not doing anything and then still being a good passive when people are running around with Cute Charm with Wigglytuff who can do anything. At level 6 from Tailwind already being a really good move, so I wanted to replace it with something that could be just as good. So obviously Roost being a support, it could heal you and anyone in a circle around you, could give health back, could make you faster, could make you floatier like the Roost is. And then Whirlwind, so on the opposite end of Tailwind, that boosts up your team in an area of effect that pushes you forward, you can run in it, you're faster. Whirlwind is a big knockback gust of wind, does no damage, but does a big knockback, big air effect, similar to Tailwind, just pushes everyone back. Not as big as Tailwind, because that would be broken, that'd be Unite move worthy, but a decent range that kind of just pushes everybody back, decently slows them down maybe. You're not entirely sure what it could do else, but you can't have it damaging because Whirlwind isn't a damaging move, but still want to have a lot of knockback because that's the whole point of Whirlwind. The idea behind Mandabuzz's Unite move is called, I called it Feather Storm, but it'd be similar to like Conan, if you've ever seen Naruto with the Shinigami dance and the paper bombs and stuff. So it'd be pretty much a falling feather zone in a big ring. It'd be a big area of effect, damaging people very smallly. It'd be small damage over time, be just like trinklets or like tick damage onto opposing Pokemon that are hit by these feathers that are falling, and then your teammates that are inside it have increased attack speed and movement speed. So it buffs all your teams that are in this big circle, and then slowly damages the opposing Pokemon they're in. I feel like if it was slowing them, then it would be too much, but sometimes I feel like having the damage is too much, but then if it didn't, then it'd just be helping Ken like Blissey, and then it's not worth the Unite move status that it should have. So the damage makes a little bit more sense. The increased attack speed and move speed is good to help out your team because Mandabuzz is a support Pokemon. So that was the idea. So hopefully it could work in a balanced way without being too broken. And finally, the Pokemon I've been waiting for most. It took a long time to figure this one out. I've been racking my brain going back and forth on moves and ideas and abilities, and I've actually gone with Aegislash. I think it could be a really unique Pokemon and could work well if done properly, but it is very hard to make work. It would evolve from Honedge into Doughblade at level 4 and then Doughblade into Aegislash at level 8. It would have its ability prior, give it a new ability, I think, because No Guard is no help in the MOBA and in the game because they don't really have any moves that are affected by it. It would get stance change when it evolves into Aegislash, but having the ability before it would be Sharpen. I haven't really decided what it could do. Could be a speed boost after a certain amount of time. Could be a passive. Could increase your speed. Could increase attack. It has to be something different than No Guard. It couldn't be that because that would have been zero help because moves don't miss in a MOBA. It's like, except when you lower accuracy, but for the one Pokemon that does that briefly, and if they use it, it's not worth having that as an ability. This would be the first Pokemon as well with 3 moves, and that's only when it becomes Aegislash and learns stance change as its ability. It would get an extra move that becomes King's Shield. That's the whole point behind Aegislash. It's the sword and the shield. Changes between attack mode and defense mode for damage and defensive stats. But you got to get a way back in. When you use an attack move, you go out into the attack mode. You got to get back into the defensive mode somehow. So you got to add King's Shield, but you can't take up a full slot for it because then you've only got one move and then you have to defend and then you can't choose another move. You have to have King's Shield. So I feel like having it as your ability makes it perfect. It's another active cooldown like Zoroark's where you can use King's Shield to go back, you get a shield, you go back into the defensive mode. For level 1 and, or 2, 3 for the early evolutions for Honedge, you would have Shadow Sneak and Autotomize. So it's a small speed boost. Sorry, I forgot to say that Aegislash is the all-rounder, for those of you who haven't worked it out yet. He's the all-rounder. So Autotomize giving him a small speed boost early is really handy. It's kind of like X-Speed. So it helps secure a couple kills in the lane, escape if need be, then you can run a different item if you have to. But then Shadow Sneak obviously would be a small dash that knocks up, and that's just a good early move to have for an all-rounder. At level 4, when Honedge evolves into Doughblade, I've given them, I guess, supportive move for them, because it's not necessarily a mobility-like Pokemon, because it's very tanky, obviously the shield and the sword, not supposed to be running around like Lucario, that the move would be Sword Stance or Iron Defense. So you can choose which path you want to take. For Aegislash, it can be more offensive role or defensive role. That's the luxury of playing an all-rounder. So you can choose Sword Stance to give you an increased attack for a certain amount of time, and then opposite to that would be increased defense for a certain amount of time. At level 7, you would forget Shadow Sneak and either learn Iron Slash or Iron Sword. Give it new names. It's not really Iron Head. It's a sword. Doesn't need it. Iron Slash or something. Iron Strike maybe. Smart Strike even. And then Shadow Ball or Shadow Slash or Shadow Claw. Whatever it could be. That, like, so one Steel move and one Ghost move that are the main attacking components that would be Aegislash. And finally, for the Unite move for Aegislash, it would be a big, I haven't got a name for it yet. It's too hard to, I think I had Knight's Chivalry. It could work, could not. Could be anything related to a knight. That's the whole theme. But it'd be a charge when he's in shield form. He runs up, runs through people, does a knock up, and then unsheaths from his blade, and then does a big swiping spin. So it doesn't want to be too much of a knock-up, or it could be too OP. Don't want to have to push people. It could be a push. It makes probably more sense that it's a push if he's running through with his shield bash. So he could run through and carry people like Blastoise's Surf or whatnot, and then unsheath and then do a big slashing spin. But it makes sense because it uses his defensive part and his attacking part in one Unite move. And that's the whole point of Aegislash, stance changing, having both parts, being attacker and a defender. So definitely encompasses the all-rounder component, being attack and defense stats like that. And obviously his defense stats would be through the roof when he's in shield mode, and attack stats would be through the roof when he's in blade mode. But it makes a lot of sense for an all-rounder to have those kind of capabilities, and a Unite move that can do that type is really good, because all-rounders should have good Unite moves. They're all-rounders. They're supposed to be there. Look at Machamps. Knocks everyone in, does punches, then does big damage. Same kind of thing. could shoulder bash, carry them, knock them, and then do big damage. Very similar to Machamps in that sense. Hopefully you did enjoy these 5 more Pokemon that I think could be in Pokemon Unite or should be in Pokemon Unite. So please let me know in the comments down below who you want to see in Pokemon Unite, not from this list or from this list. And if it is from this list, what would you change or what you enjoyed? If you did like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss a single Pokemon Unite daily upload. And as always, take it easy.